It's now time for Me and My Roku with host Peter Clay. Decade of Dominance.
Incidentally, this is Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not.
Not everybody sounds like Peter Clay.
This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another holiday-ish edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Welcome aboard. Here we are, kids, in the golden quarter of streaming, and couldn't be happier to share my adventures with you. Yes, that's right. This is a me show, and I want to be very clear about this because I find it very... what the words am I trying to say here, but it's about you. Even though this is about me, it's my show, but it's you. It's your streaming. You do what you want with it. So many people are out there telling you how you should stream and how you should watch your TV and how you should do this and how you should do that and all that stuff. Now, not here. This is safe haven, okay? Now, I just tell you what I do, and then you can get ideas for yourself to say how I can, hey, if that idiot can do it, I can do whatever I want. Anyway, so the point I'm trying to get at is I was on my way to work and I was listening to a morning radio show because we have to share a vehicle right now. So in the mornings, she gets her morning show, the morning zoo type show and all that stuff. And then on the way home, then I, stream something nice and all that stuff that for the way home and everything like that. So in the morning, one person on the show was offended. I mean, just aghast that the host of the show did not watch The Irishman all the way through. The Irishman was in theaters so that could qualify for Oscars and all that stuff, but it is available on Netflix. It's a Netflix production, and it's 3.5 hours long. So unless you've got 3.5 hours, go for it. But it's just like, hey, you want to watch a movie all the way through? Good on you. I'm glad you had the time to do it. The host of a show, busy person and all that stuff, isn't it? Watched, most of it and just says, I'll watch it later. That's the whole idea of this whole concept that we're at now. You're in control. So this is me and my Roku. I'm in control of what I do. I prefer the Roku. I also have a Fire TV and a Chromecast. 2 Chromecast. Sorry, hey, enough. But I prefer the Roku because I got 3 of those. You only use 2 of them. Hey. But I got one as a backup just in case, Anyway, me and my Roku. Me. I do what I do. I share it along so that you can do what you do so well. Hey, we got some things to talk about, so let's get started. Da, 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 da. Okay, so continuing on the you do you theme, I'll do me and I'll share with you and then you can do you theme. Because it happened to myself. I was listening to Cord Killers or one of those shows and I had a guest on there and he got me thinking, and that's a cause for celebration in this house when that happens. But what this person does is this person gets a subscription service and then binges the heck out of it while he has it for that month. And then if he's gotten through it all, then he gets rid of it. And then he goes to something else. So say he's got 1 month of Netflix because there was a show that he wanted. And he gets through that show and then he binges it out to find whatever else is on there to get the value that he paid for. And then the next month, then if it's Hulu or Disney Plus or something like that, he says he didn't even get Disney Plus because he'd seen it all already. So and he did something that made me think about it, but it is a good resource that I do recommend, and that is the app Just Watch, available on iOS and Android. And therefore, you pick the services on there that you use, and then it tells you when anything else new comes out. That's one function of it. 2, it also has a search function on there, or search function, and you put in a particular show, so like the Twilight Zone, and so when it'll show you then what's streaming it, where it's available. Is it available to buy? Is it available to stream? Is it available to stream for free? That's another function that it has. So that's a good function on there. Now, what he does on there is he's got filters on there that to put a Rotten Tomatoes score on there or IMDb score on there. So that way he feels in his own mind that he's not going to be, get caught watching crap or anything like that. Now, to me, crap has its time and its place. All right, so I've seen some things throughout my almost half century here. And sometimes you need a little something isn't any good, like a bachelor party, okay? Technically, that's not going to score well on Rotten Tomatoes. But darn it all, sometimes you need that rudeness, crudeness things when you could be rude and crude. And all that stuff. So sometimes you don't want your filth that clean. Yeah, it's a line in the movie. Okay, so anyway, Just Watch is a good app doing that. And just a suggestion is if you've got something, use it till its full potential. Alrighty, little tip there from me and My Roku.
Didn't what do I? Didn't what do I?
Alrighty then. So I had an interesting thing happen to me. I've talked about this a little bit in the past about movies anywhere. Kind of I don't want to say vital, but a very important thing to have in your Roku library. Because what Movies Anywhere will do, it used to be Disney Anywhere, but they link themselves with a whole bunch of other things. So what Movies Anywhere will do, if you purchase, it allows you, let me look at it this way here. It allows you to link several accounts, say Amazon, Apple, Disney, Vudu, Google Play. That's 5 right there. And I think there's maybe a couple more too that Xfinity, I think, is that just added on and everything like that. So you purchase from one of those, you link them, and if you have accounts with all of those, then you buy Airplane. Okay? You buy Airplane on Amazon. It is now available on all of those things that you've linked to, then, if you wish. Because sometimes they have better versions and stuff like that. So you buy something on Apple, but Amazon has the special features and all that stuff too. So, or you're just an Amazon thing and you just it shows up on your Fire Stick or TV or whatever like that. But this is Roku. It shows on your Roku then on Amazon, the Prime Video app. So anyway, so I thought it was kind of like a set it and forget it. Like that. So most of the time I'm getting gift cards or something like that. I have an Amazon gift card and I don't have Amazon Prime or anything like that. So I'll use it to purchase a movie or something like that. And then I can then watch it on my Google Play app or something like that on my Roku. So in this particular case, I got a digital code. That's another thing. So if you purchase a Blu-ray or DVD or something like that, and it also comes with a digital copy, it comes with a code that you can enter in at Movies Anywhere. So I have been doing more of the gift cards, and so I haven't been going to the website at all or anything like that. I just thought it was a set it and forget it once you're linked. Well, apparently you need to go to the website every now and then and check on these things and relink like every year or something like that, just so you know that everything's set and you're you and you're not sharing anything and all that stuff. So this came to me when I was given a digital code. Somebody bought this mega box of movies. So it was like 5 movies of the same thing, like Jason Bourne or something like that. And it says, I don't need this because they specifically wanted the disc. Do you want this code? And I said, hey, sure, I got an account. So when I went to the Movies Anywhere website to redeem the code, then I noticed I had 4 things I had to relink and all that stuff. So as a reminder, just be mindful of these things. So if you have a Movies Anywhere account, to go in there every now and then and check on that and make sure everything, because you don't want to purchase Bohemian Rhapsody and they got it on Amazon because you had a gift card or something like that, but you want to watch it on something else and it's not linked, and so you could have a problem. So be mindful of these things. Keep up to date on everything. All your apps, make sure everything's updated and all that stuff. It's a good time at the end of the year because it's holiday binge watching time. This is big deals here. So make sure you're updated with you and your Roku. Okay, kids, gather around. Usually at this time, I do a big little speech, a minute or so speech, about the Internet Archive and how they've helped us throughout all these years by being the provider of the bandwidth of our podcast. But then I like to explain what it does. There's so much more. It's not just about me and my Roku. It's about the whole internet and what it was meant to be, the greatest library of all. And that's what the Internet Archive is. But instead of giving a message from me about the Internet Archive, how about a message from Brewster Kahle, the founder of the Internet Archive, who does a once-a-year campaign, just like Wikipedia and everything else. And I know this time of year, everyone's asking for a handout. You know, you got the people ringing the bells and the empty stocking club and all that stuff. Lots of giving to do. But I want you to consider the Internet Archive about what it does and what it's trying to do about the whole Internet. Not just helping me, but everybody out there and anyone who wants their help. It's available to them as well. They want to do their own project or something like that, but everything that they're doing. So once a year, they're doing a 2-for-1 matching gift. Now, he says the average donation is $45. I'm not asking that of you. What they're asking for is $5. All right, that'll get matched, and it says 2-for-1, but they're saying that'll triple the efforts on there. So it's very important if you could help them. All you need is the price of a paperback book to sustain a nonprofit website the whole world depends on. We have over 150 staff, but one of them runs the world's top website. So read the agreement, privacy acts and all that stuff. Consider a $5 donation. That's going to go a long way to helping out. A lot of the things that they're doing is the Wayback Machine is not just one of those things where you can look back and go, oh, look, there's pets.com or Pete with blonde hair or anything like that. They're doing wonderful things in there. Because of the Wayback Machine, they've been able to fix 11 million broken links in Wikipedia. Okay. If you're a Deadhead, you like the Grateful Dead, all their live concerts are available. You know, all the what was considered bootlegs and all that stuff. Grateful Dead, they thought that was great. It's available on the Internet Archive. So a whole bunch of things to explore on there, and just consider that right now. $5. I've got my receipt right here. Just did it. That's why I had to go to 2 computers here to get the ad. I was going to share it with everyone. It was just like I rushed right away and made my $5 donation. You can do PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin even. Why not? So the only time I've ever asked for something like that, but I just consider it and consider it considered. Thank you so much, and consider supporting the Internet Archive at archive.org.
I'm still hoping, I'm still waiting.
Okay, well, this is kind of a cute story. Decades TV Network. They're available over the air. I know it's a Roku show, but over the air, like .2, .3, whatever your local channel is. Here, I think it's like channel 27.3. Anyway, so Decades TV on New Year's Eve this year will be hosting a Toast to Twilight. That's right, a marathon of the Twilight Zone. And I thought, well, that's cute. You know, usually on New Year's Eve or a holiday weekend, there's usually a marathon session of some show. That's what we used to do back in the days. But we have a Roku. Can't we do this anytime we want? So anytime you want to have a Twilight Zone marathon, you don't have to wait till New Year's Eve on Decades TV and look for it on your thing, and maybe your antenna's not set up and it blinks and freezes on you or anything like that. Available to you on your Roku, the Twilight Zone. Have your own marathon. Now, I thought it was on CBS All Access because they had a reboot of the Twilight Zone last season, but I couldn't find it on there. However, Hulu has all 5 seasons, and Netflix and Amazon Prime have 4 seasons. I don't know how one season got lost. There was one season where they went to an hour long, and I'm guessing though that's the season that's not available. But you have to check for yourself. But if you want all 5 seasons, Hulu, and you yourself can have your own Twilight Zone marathon on your Roku. Okay, well, before I get to comings and goings, I forgot the whole reason why I was doing this show today. So coming would be Roku itself for 10 years now. A decade of dominance in streaming. Yes, it was 10 years ago I needed a toy. So on a Black Friday sale, I had a gift card, and I got myself a free Roku XD. I only had to pay $15 to get it shipped and got it the very next day. That's Saturday then. I spent the whole weekend streaming, and my world has been different or better or just changed ever since. My whole outlook and everything. Between podcasting or podcasting or podcasts, and the Roku. Completely, I took care of my media, took control, and that helped take control of a lot of things in my life. That's just me, and that's why it's me and my Roku. But 10 years now. And the whole reason for doing this podcast on that is because I had no idea it was going to last this long. So when someone says now that, is Netflix going to be here 5 years from now? Is Disney going to kill it and all that stuff? I didn't think any of this stuff would be here by now. So good chance Roku's still going to be here 5-10 years from now. Netflix will probably still be here. But remember, back then, Netflix was just starting streaming. It was still discs. Hulu was Hulu Plus. So, wow. Difference. Amazon was just getting started then, too. I think my go-to was Netflix and PubD Hub. Crunchyroll was still there, too. There's some stuff still there if you go search for it and all that stuff. But what a difference. 10 years. Holy smokes. Comings and goings. How about a Roku Browser? I guess some people have been clamoring about this, and I can't think of anything that we really need to do in it. Back in the day, you would do that because you would go like to hdtv.com or something like that, and you'd want to stream it. You'd have to hook your laptop to it through like an S-video cable or some sort of cord to your TV and all that stuff back in that day. And so if people are clamoring still to want to put YouTube on there, I think the app is better for two reasons. One, the app now can do a whole bunch of different things that you just control with your remote. Two, even on the Roku, on YouTube, you can cast even onto the Roku from a mobile device, YouTube. So I don't know. So I think people who would want a browser at this point are kind of doing some shady things, I think. I'm not casting aspersions, but I can't think of anything anymore. Another thing that I've always been kind of shady about or thought was kind of weird was Plex. And coming with them is they have now ad-supported movies. I think we talked about this was coming. Well, here it is, folks. So if you use Plex to stream your physical media, that your ripped DVDs or photos, or I use audiobooks that I've kept over the years and things like that, and lectures and stuff. So Plex is very useful, actually. It could have some things that could be a little shady and all that stuff, and then also the sharing aspect and all that stuff. But it's a very good service, and now adding ad-supported stuff on there. Yes, some of the things I've seen on other streaming services, but for the most part, they also have actually exclusive, I think with Universal or something, or maybe that's IMDb. They have a contract with somebody. So check it out, Plex, and they're ad-supporting. As far as the free stuff goes, ad-supported stuff, I'm still enjoying Vudu. And that's been good. And I also got that digital code and all that stuff. I find that they're all good. But I found Vudu at least a little easier to know, like, hey, do you want to watch the hi-fi version, like when I'm on my big TV? Do I want to watch the UHD version, or do I want to watch a standard version, all that stuff? Found Vudu a little, you don't know what you're getting with Amazon and Apple and all that stuff. So, little thing there. A bunch of goes are going, like Discovery Go and Science Channel Go and DIY Go. Nothing wrong with them. It's just they were kind of clogging up the system, and I like to do things in a series of threes because it evens out on my apps on the Roku. And so these were things I weren't watching very much. And I also looked at it and saw a lot of the back catalog of a lot of the shows I would watch on those apps are available on Hulu, which I get paid through gift cards and all that stuff. So as I mentioned before, you have something, binge the heck out of it and kind of know where things are at, type of thing, so you can use the best things. A little update on my experience now on my third week on Android, since I accidentally, air quotes maybe, dropped my beautiful iPhone 6 Plus. The concrete garage floor shattered. And cried profusely, but now I'm learning. So trying to find out different ways in the podcasting area, more ways that you can listen to this program. And it's available on there, and I'll give the whole list in just a little while. But I'm finding on Android then, I'll reiterate, and this is just me, so you do you. But for me, on iOS, just do the podcast app. I know there's people out there that say, oh no, Overcast or Pocket Cast or blah, blah, blah. Just use the podcast app. It's fine. It's good. And once you kind of learn a couple tricks here and there, there's also searches that can help you do that stuff. It's fine. Android, on the other hand, well, that's just a little trickier. For me, personally, Podcast Addict, spiders off the iTunes or the Apple Podcast engine, and anything that's available on that, they can get on there, and you can make your own playlist and all that stuff. The only issue I think I might be having is because it's ad-supported and it's constantly running ads, I'm wondering if it's draining my battery, because I'm finding I'm having to do that more often. It could be Bluetooth, could be a whole bunch of other different things. So many notifications on Android. No, you were at this place, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. So Spotify is also very good. Doesn't have everything that iTunes or Apple Podcast engine would have, but 75%, and that's sometimes good enough type of thing. And all the other ones that I mentioned, all that stuff, they're all good. They're all fine. So check those out too. So that's what I'm going through with my podcasting experience, trying to find the best for you so you can listen to me and my Roku and whatever platform you want. Okay. Speaking of what else? Oh, hey, since we're getting to the end of the year, a lot of people are going to be ducking out for the holidays and not doing their podcasts, or they're going to be doing best of type of shows and all that stuff. And so they take clips from their shows and kind of put them all together and do that stuff. So what I thought I would do is either one, just duck out for the holidays and see you next year, or two, I was cleaning up my desk here and all that stuff, and I found all my notes from when I restarted the podcast back in May. And so since all these things are segmented in clips, I could just, cut and paste clips into the program that I use and all that stuff. Could do that. But what I think I'll do is I'll just go through my notes, because I now use a book going through into next year and all that stuff. But I still have all my notes and all that stuff. Before I destroy the notes, I might just rattle off some of the things I've done since I've restarted the podcast this year and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. So I'll either do that at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. We'll see. Life goes on. Life is uncertain. So anyway. All right, got to get back to my Roku. Kind of getting the itch, the twitch. Got to get back on there because it's big college football day at the time of this recording and all that stuff. So lots of championships going on. Lots of things to be had out there. So anyway, once again, special thanks to archive.org for their support. Consider supporting them as they're going through their year-end mission and all that stuff. 2-for-1 campaign on that. So consider helping them out, because that helps us out, and we can keep going and rolling and all that stuff. You can subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, iHeartMedia, and Radio.com. We're still waiting on Pandora, or maybe not. We'll just move on with life. I think all's good there. I think that's enough stuff there. You can follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction. Get on there and say hello and say, hearing you loud and clear. Or if you would like to do that more personally, you can do that with an email. Or any other questions and comments, you can email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. Hey, as we're getting close to this holiday season, I can wish you hugs and kisses and all that stuff. Or I can just hope that you're enjoying you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. And I'll be with you back real soon.